Good evening, I'm Mark Seal with Sports Night. It has been really slow batting by the Barbados Pride so far on day 2 of their first round West Indies 4-day championship match against Leeward Hurricanes at the 3Ws Oval. The Pride are responding to the Hurricanes' first inning score of 252. And at tea a short while ago, they were 123 for 3. Now that slow going started in the very first session, where resuming on 12 without loss, the Pride only added 62 runs in 2 hours. Barbados resumed their first innings this afternoon with Anthony Allen and Shea Mosley. This is Mosley square driving Alzari Joseph to the backward point boundary. Mosley has a high bat lift, and Joseph not only got one to skid on, but also jagged back. Cartwheeling the leg stump, Mosley gone for 12 with 2 fours is 16 for 1. The skipper Shamar Brooks joined Allen and got his first boundary off a missed field by Joseph off the ball of Sheldon Cottrell, who had replaced Joseph at the southern end. The same Cottrell would however account for Brooks' wicket, naughtily nibbling at a wide one and was caught at second slip by Monson Hodge for 12. It was now 43 for 2. Allen struck a 4 and a 6. This was the 4, a flick off his pads to the fine leg boundary of Cottrell. Jonathan Carter had replaced Brooks. This short ball from Terrence Ward was pulled to the mid-wicket boundary as Barbados went to lunch on 74 for 2. And as I said at tea, the Pride reached 123 for 3. Jonathan Carter is still there on 55 with 6 fours, while Allen was dismissed for 36. Live commentary is currently on 94.7 FM. Barbadian surfer Che Allen is into the second round in the men's open category at the Pan American qualifiers in Lima, Peru. Allen advanced after finishing second in his opening heat of the competition, posting a wave total of 7.7. Winning the heat was Canada's Sean Forrester, whose heat total was 12.03. Josh Burke, however, crashed out in the first round after finishing third in the day's fourth heat with a total of 8.7. The other Bajan surfer is Chelsea Tuak in the women's open serve category, and she has already advanced to tomorrow's semi-final, having posted solid scores of 11.05, 15.07 and 10.66. In the semis, she'll face Ecuador's Dominic Barona and Venezuela's Rosana Alvarez. On the football, where St. Leonard's are the champions of the 2018 Coca-Cola Secondary Schools Knockout Competition after defeating Combermere in the final at the Wilde AstroTurf. Meanwhile, in the third place playoff, it was the Allen School getting over the Lodge. St. Leonard's opened the scoring in the final from this free kick from just outside the area, inches outside the area, and now Reed Stevens let loose a left-booted blast that curved past the wall and which was also too fast for the keeper. 1-0 to St. Leonard's in the 23rd minute. The Richmond Gap guys held on to the lead into the second half, but here in the 60th minute, Combermere would draw level. An accurate through ball would find Nathan Skeet, who patiently waited for enough space to take a shot, which loops over a diving custodian to make it 1-1. However, 6 minutes later, St. Leonard's took back the lead. A ball played in from the right found the leaping head of Reed Stevens, who completes a spectacular brace, as St. Leonard's are champs once again with a 2-1 win over Combermere. In the third place playoff, Allen wasted no time putting their footprint on this game. Devon Clark took the ball deep inside Lodge School's defense with little challenge and scored easily in the 6th minute. Here they come again in the 32nd minute, this time from the opposite left flank. Once again, Clark is allowed to slot home from point-blank range to make it 2-0 in the 33rd. The third and final goal came in the second half, the Lodge having some serious bad luck with the goalie's clearance rebounding off a defender and straight into the path of Jerron Fields in the 43rd, as Allen took the third place with a 3-0 decision. As the Barbados Olympic Association's Independence Invitational Games wind down this weekend, rugby will be one of the sports taking center stage. This weekend will be the Rugby Barbados World Sevens at Kensington Oval, with 23 teams, some coming as far as from Toronto and Swansea. Now, while Barbados doesn't have a rugby team that will take part in the 2020 Olympics, a lot of groundwork is being laid for future development of the sport. even at the school level. The Lodge School has been one of those schools to get exposure to rugby, as we hear from CBC's Shane Seeley.
So the Rugby Sevens segment of the big games is this weekend, and I know many people will want to see what is a different sport for Barbados, but there's a big push to get athletes from here interested in rugby, and maybe we can see an Olympic team in the not too distant future. George is a big part of the push for that Rugby Sevens movement here in Barbados. George, you have a visiting team here. Tell us about this push here at the Lodge School.
The team that's playing behind is Rugby Écosse Féminine. They pull players from Scotland, England, Holland. Some of them are national team players. We have with them this year Heather Fisher, who's a current England Sevens player. She's our tournament ambassador, and she's right now giving a talk to the Lodge School students.
So you have this program up and running here at the Lodge School. What are you trying to get? What are you trying to achieve here?
It's our grassroots program called Get Into Rugby. We have coaches in various schools, primary school, secondary school. We're introducing children to rugby at the primary school stage, so when they come to secondary school, they're asking for it in their schools. So at the Lodge School we have a coach. She runs the Get Into Rugby program from first form through third form. She's also over at the Codrington School in St. John. We're in 8 other secondary schools and primary schools. Well, actually my son's on scholarship at Arkansas State on a rugby scholarship. So you know, there are scholarships out there, especially for women. There is a coach here from Sacred Hearts University. She flew in last night. She's scouting for NCAA athletes from Barbados and from the region.
We see how interested these students here are in hearing about rugby. They're going to get to see rugby in action. What are the prospects for Barbados sometime in the not too distant future having that Olympic team for rugby? What do we need to do here?
I'm not going to lie, it's really tough. The game of sevens is growing so fast, it's almost like even us as England can't keep up. You're looking at like 5-6 years just to try and get out there and get onto a World Series. The starting point for any player, for any sport, is just to start playing it. People have to start seeing it. You know, you walked down the streets last night and people are playing bat and ball on the street. That's so cool, but you also need to be able to see your rugby sevens and a rugby ball in the hands regularly. If it's on the beach or on the side of the road, it doesn't matter where it is. But that has to be introduced at a young age. You know, you look at the Kiwis, you look at New Zealand, the way they kind of represent themselves. It's from such an early age that those key motor skills that they learn are from the age of 3-4 years old. And they just develop through their whole life. And it's the game that brings everyone together. So if Barbados are looking to kind of be this next country in the world and bring their game up, it's about getting Barbados on the map. It's about getting the athletes out there, the students out there, to get them back in it. You've got to financially back the game and allow people just to go and play it and see what happens.
So remember, all of this Rugby Sevens action, it happens at the Kensington Oval on Saturday, starts at 8:30 and runs to 4:30. And maybe you can see some of those youngsters that could make up an Olympic Barbados team in rugby in the future. Shane Seeley, CBC Sports.